Now, school teachers are being told to teach the Holocaust, but also teach opposing views of the Holocaust. That's what the movement of anti-critical race theory was about. Critical race theory, as I've noted, never taught in K through 12 education. It was a false pretext to create the context in order to stop the historical teaching of racism, not only in America, but beyond. And that's exactly what's happening. Let me take you to the video.
We are in the middle of a political mess. And you are in the middle of a political mess. And so we just have to do the best that we can. And so we're gonna go and you're gonna do what you do best, and that's to teach kids.
I think we're all just really terrified.
I think you are terrified, and I wish I could take that away. I do. I can't do that. You are professionals. We hired you as professionals. We trust you with our children. So if you think the book is okay, then let's go with it. And whatever happens, we will fight it together. We will.
There's a lot of districts that are in the exact same spot we're in, and no one knows how to navigate these waters. I mean, no one.
As you go through, just try to remember the concepts of 3979 and make sure that if you have a book on the Holocaust, that you have one that has other.
How do you oppose the Holocaust?
What? Believe me, that's come up.
So number the stars,
You heard it right. If you have a book talking about the Holocaust, you must have another book with the opposing views. Well, where are you gonna get those books from? The KKK. You'll get those books from white supremacists, is where those books exist. So let me give you background. Obviously, this is in Texas, Southlake, Texas. This is a Carroll staff member secretly recorded. Gina Peddy, that's the woman you heard in the audio. This was shared with NBC News. A top administrator with the Carroll Independent School District in Southlake, Texas, advised teachers last week that if they have a book about the Holocaust in their classroom, they should also offer students access to a book from an opposing perspective. That's according to the audio. You heard it for yourself. So let me be very clear, okay? That's a damn shame what's happening in that school system. But it's not just happening there. Remember, Texas passed a law recently that said, hey, you don't have to teach the KKK. It was actually a statute. You had to teach these egregious things. They said, well, you don't have to teach it now. And if you do teach it, you cannot provide deference in the teaching, meaning you cannot provide any moral context. You cannot say the KKK were morally wrong. You cannot teach that they were evil or white supremacist. You can't teach that. You cannot provide deference in the teaching. When you go to school, you're not there just to learn an academic routine. You are there to develop socially. You're there to develop your ethics, your moral core, your values, how you would translate those values to the broader world around you. I'm a former high school teacher, current college professor. Even as a professor, you're not just teaching curriculum, you're teaching life. You're teaching adaptation. You're teaching people how to critically think and how to utilize a moral core in their application of all of the education they're getting. It gets deeper. Gina Peddy, the Carroll School District's executive director of curriculum and instruction, made the comment Friday afternoon during a training session on which books teachers can have in the classroom libraries. The training came 4 days after the Carroll School Board, responding to a parent's complaint, voted to reprimand a 4th grade teacher who kept an anti-racism book in her classroom. Literally, the book was called, "This Book is Anti-Racist," okay? They are up in arms about this stuff. Now they want a teaching to teach the other side of the Holocaust. As I said, if you've been following Indisputable, I told you this would happen. They never wanted to get rid of critical race theory, the terminology, CRT or critical race theory, not even found in the legislation, only found at the press conference. They say, oh, this is a bill banning critical race theory, but the phraseology is not even in the bill. What are they actually doing? They are rewriting history right in front of us. They are now creating a different narrative contrary to the truth. School teachers are amazing people. They are in a significant situation right now, legally, morally, ethically, and educationally. We got to have their back. Trey, what are your thoughts here, brother?
I mean, I think it really highlights how ridiculous the law is itself. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I think this is a lady who's like, well, we got this law and here's what it says. It says you got to have opposing viewpoints. So if you're going to cover the Holocaust, then, that's just what you got to do because that's what this law says. But, some things don't have opposing viewpoints. Like what are the two possible opposing viewpoints to a book about the Holocaust? It's either that it didn't happen, which it factually did, so that can exist, or that it wasn't all that bad, which no sane person could argue. So there really isn't an opposing viewpoint or an opposing perspective to be offered on the Holocaust. And slavery is like that too. There are some subjects which don't really have opposing perspectives for people whose brains work. You know what I mean? So a law like this is almost like inherently, flawed isn't even a strong enough word, inherently broken, when you try to apply what the law says, you're gonna immediately run into things like this. And it's either that's by design on their part or just, they're trying to scratch some political itch without thinking about the actual, implementation of something like this. But it's all a joke.
Yeah, well, they didn't have school teachers part of the policy creation process, number one.
Right.
Number two, you qualified it perfectly. If your brain works, there is no opposing view here. Because you do have opposing views, technically. You have people that are Holocaust deniers. They say it was a hoax. Those are your Alex Jones of the world. Those are the people that say it never happened, right?